What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and for today I wanted to do another top 10 video for you guys. This time around I want to give you guys a top 10 list of speed characters that you should not be prioritizing if you are one, new to the game, or two, still not at a place where you can comfortably complete the majority of the game's content, whether it's on a daily or weekly basis. Why? Because these characters have no real value. They have awful survivability, very low damage, little to no AoE, very little CC, and very crappy iframes. Really, they have no way to keep themselves alive and no real way to deal damage to the enemy. You should not be building them, guys. Trust me, they have no worth in AB or ABX, no value at all in Raw Boss or Raw Boss Ultimate. On top of that, they can't do timeline and they suck in Battle World. That is 6 of the major game modes currently gone off the list, and the only one they can kind of do okay in is actually Shadowland. And for the most part, you need really good gameplay and a very good build in order to get a solo out of them. And to be honest, most of these characters can't solo anything. Okay, so keep that in mind. A lot of these characters on the list are characters that I love from the comics, but I gotta be completely honest, if you're not at the point where you're just building these guys up to complete your roster because you're a completionist or a collector, you should not be building them. Okay, so unlike usual, guys, we're gonna do this a little bit different. We're gonna start from number 1 and work our way down to number 10, and we're gonna go from the one that is the most unusable, the one that is complete garbage, first, and then we're gonna go all the way down to number 10, the one that you should still ideally not be building, but by building her, she may actually do something for you if you have a little bit of skill playing her. Okay, so number 1, guys, is actually gonna be a character that everyone should already know is complete garbage, is actually freaking Kimora, guys. The worst character in the game, to be honest with you guys, is actually Kimora. I know a lot of people hate on Hulkling, but Hulkling has an iframe, and I believe that guy has a stun as well. I hate on him, and I do it for the memes because it's funny, but to be honest with you guys, if we're being completely 100% honest here, Kimora is the worst character in the game. She has an awful base kit, guys. There is no value in any of her skills at all. She provides nothing, guys. She provides nothing. The only real value over here is the tier 2 passive. It's a good tier 2 passive, okay? That's where she has Hulkling beat. It's a very good tier 2 passive, but even tier 2ing her, she's not gonna stay alive. No iframe, no stun, no real AoE, no nothing, guys. On top of that, she has 2 freaking uniforms, guys. Hulkling doesn't have a uniform at all. He could easily get a uniform and become good. She has 2 and she's still garbage. I actually really like this one. I think it looks freaking amazing, but still don't buy it, guys. Unless they're selling it for gold, don't buy it. It's absolutely terrible. Same for the second one. So yeah, and I'm not just talking on my ass, guys. All of these characters, for the most part, have their gears at 20, have ISO set or their skills at 6. So I have lots of experiences playing these guys, and they're just really freaking bad. She has an obelisk, but it's not really a great one. But trust me, guys, I test out these characters. I'm not just talking on my ass. I didn't level up her skills because that's not gonna do anything. She's awful, absolutely awful. So yeah, number 1, guys, is actually Kimora. I don't want to rage here, but she's really freaking bad, believe me, boys. Number 2, almost as bad as number 1, and the only reason why he's not number 1 is because he actually has a stun. If that's what's separating 1 from 2, a stun, it's really bad, guys. It's really bad. Okay, his tier 2 passive is actually pretty decent, similar to Kimora. It's the saving grace of his kit. However, he has a 4 skill right here, which gives him 3 seconds off, I would say, CC. But the good part about this is the fact that it pierces the enemies. So if you have 3 enemies behind each other and you shoot one, the arrow will fly through all of them and all 3 of them will get stunned. So that's good. So it gives you a little bit of CC, but that's all he has in his kit, guys. No iframes, no nothing else. Awful leadership. Like, really, this is Hawkeye we're talking about, guys. One of the best characters in the Marvel universe. Okay, I don't know what you guys want to say, but for a human character, Hawkeye is freaking badass. Okay, and if this is what they're gonna do to him after freaking 2 uniforms, that's actually very sad. Okay, Hawkeye, number 2, guys. Awful character. Good tier 2, 1 stun, that's it. Terrible, absolutely putrid. Number 3 for me, guys, another character that I actually really like. Sad to put her on this list, but she deserves to be on this list, is Mockingbird, guys. Mockingbird, another character with 2 uniforms, guys. You're noticing a pattern here. They have 2 uniforms, but they're still garbage. Garbage. Unlike the other 2, guys, she actually has 2 iframes if you get this uniform right here, and I really freaking like this uniform, guys. I think it looks amazing, but do not let it deceive you. She's still a bad character. She's a good tier 2, but that is it, guys. That is it. Uniform gives her 2 partial iframes, and she has a good tier 2. That's it. Awful leadership. All her skills are awful. Like, nothing here, guys. No CC, no nothing. And it roots her when she's using these skills. It's just terrible. Absolutely terrible. Do not build her, guys. You will regret it. Trust me, guys. And I actually like her to the point where gears are 20. Skills are 6. ISO set. Not a good ISO set, but one that I felt that I had to put on her simply because of how awful her survivability was. Still is, should I say. And I only put these 2-star ISOs here in case she actually does get her freaking skills fixed, so that I could re-roll this to Power Fang Hulk or Overdrive and get her to become a usable character. Sadly, it doesn't look like that day will ever come. So Mockingbird, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Number 4, guys. Number 4 is actually going to be another character that I like. This should just be a top 10 list of characters that I like that Netmarble shitted on. Okay, so yeah, another character that I freaking like that deserves to be on this list because of how bad he is actually Daredevil. Another character that has 2 uniforms. 2 uniforms. Don't buy any of them. Still a garbage character, guys. Uniform gives him an additional iframe, bringing him up to 2 partial iframes, but he's still awful. He has better damage at tier 1 than the other characters, but that is it. He has a stun right here on the Billy Club, but that's all Daredevil really brings to the table. Tier 2 is good for speed character, but that's it, guys. I like the leadership. It's very unique. It's very unique, but that's it. Do not buy any of these uniforms. Don't build them. You're going to be disappointed in any of the major game modes that's currently in the game. Similar to Mockingbird, I actually gave him a healing ISO set because I wanted to play with the character. I'm very sad, guys. I'm very sad. Like I said, the majority of these characters, I invested a lot of resources in them, and they just failed me repeatedly. I don't want to sound like a whiner, but yeah. Number 5, guys. Number 5 is actually going to be Sin, guys. Sin. Now, I don't even know where to start with Sin, guys. Believe me when I say she's absolutely terrible. She has a good leadership. Her tier 2 passive is absolute garbage. Her 4-star passive is one of the best 4-star passives in the game, and the reason why I actually built the character in the first place. Take a look at this, guys. Whenever she's debuffed, so when Doctor Strange hits her with that time freeze, she removes that time freeze and buffs her attack by 30%. That would be great if the character could stay alive and not die immediately. She has 2 partial iframes, but that's it, guys. Damage is not that great, but it's not low once this activates, but her survivability is absolutely awful. And being a speed character, she has low defense already, so kind of sad. And this 4-star passive and the fact that she has a good leadership is why she's not higher up on this list as a useless character. Okay, number 6, guys, is actually going to be the pun of every joke, the guy that everybody always says to tier 2. Well, not just him. They always say tier 2 freaking Hulkling, but they also always say tier 2 Fanjul. Yeah, never tier 2 Fanjul, guys. The saving grace of this guy's kit is actually his 5 skill, the summons. They are good summons. They do good damage. They actually pull aggro and world boss, and that is kind of why he's so high up on this list. but even so, the character is awful. He has some CC thanks to the summons, but that is not enough. The character has some partial iframes, but believe me when I say those partial iframes are like a millisecond, and the boss in most cases won't even notice those iframes, and you're going to take a bunch of damage with him. He's the worst member of the Warriors 3. The summons and the freaking 4-star passive is kind of why I put him so high up on this list. Holding down the number 6 spot, Fanjul. If you tier 2 him, which you shouldn't, it actually makes this 4-star passive go up, I believe, by 30%. It may be either 30 or 50%. I believe it goes up to either 150 or 170. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But yeah, number 6, boys, Fanjul. Number 7, another character that I freaking love, that Netmarble shitted on. Have the uniform for her, but I'm gonna tell you, don't buy the uniforms. Don't buy any of the uniforms because she's still really freaking bad. She has good damage, and as you guys can see, I have her built up. Like, I'm not lying to you guys when I say it. The majority of these characters, their gears are at 20. Even Fanjul, I believe. I may be wrong, but yeah, I maxed out all of Fanjul's skills. So yeah, guys, yeah. It's real life, okay? I'm not just bullshitting you guys. I don't want to waste your time by clicking all of the stats for every character. But yeah, believe me, guys, these characters are very, very bad. Black Cat, she has good damage, but her freaking survivability is an absolute joke. The uniform gives her a slight iframe on the 5 skill, but that's all she has in terms of keeping herself alive. I know there's a heal here, but the damage that she deals and the heal that she gets back is just not enough to keep her alive. It's really cool to see speed characters with healing ability, because I believe outside of Black Cat, there's only Groot in his uniform that has a native heal in their kit. So it's nice to see, but it's just not enough. Her tier 2 passive is decent, but I still wouldn't tier 2 her. I still wouldn't build her. And the fact that she's a bioselector character, you should ideally stay away from her unless your roster is very, very built up, okay? Or if you're just building her from farming story missions. Who really farms story missions these days? Anyways, number 7, Black Cat, guys. And similar to freaking Black Cat is actually Hellcat. The reason why she's higher up on this list than Black Cat is because she doesn't require a uniform, and she gets a stun in her freaking kit on the 5 skill right here. On top of that, instead of only having 1 partial iframe, she has 3 partial iframes. But even so, those iframes don't do enough to keep the character alive. Her damage, I would say, is about on par with Black Cat with her uniform on, but the character just cannot stay alive no matter how well I play her, guys. Shadowland is the only place that I can use her without her dying in like 30 seconds. And even so, that is a struggle to keep her alive for those 30 seconds. Character is built, guys. Built. Okay? Believe me. Built. Not just, oh, a base, absolutely nothing invested character. So if a character is dying on me in 30 seconds when I'm actually trying my best to keep them alive, chances are they're not very good. So yeah, Hellcat, guys. Hellcat. Okay? Tier 2, decent. Does add a little bit of survivability to the character, but it's not enough for me, guys. Not enough for me. Number 9 is actually going to be Falcon, guys. Falcon. And he actually kind of needs his uniform, because his uniform, this one right here, makes it so that the iframe that he has on his 5 skill is a lot longer. But even so, don't buy it, guys. Do not buy it. He has 3 partial iframes in the kit, and they are pretty long, so they're kind of usable. So if you use him and you have him built up fairly well, you can get stuff done with him in Shadowland, and you can do decent in World Boss if you're kiting a lot when you're outside of those iframes, which is kind of why he's so high up on this list, okay? Yeah, still not a character that you should prioritize building. His tier 2 passive is absolutely atrocious. It's what I believe, actually at one point this was better than what Black Panther had. So hopefully one day they'll revisit this guy and change this, because this is absolute garbage. Moving on, number 10, guys. Number 10 is actually Sharon Carter, or Agent 13, a character that I would recommend to most people if they are new to the game, simply because of her leadership. Because when you're new, you're not going to have a lot of skill cooldown coming from your cards, and skill cooldown is an amazing stat to have. However, at this point in the game, there's so many good cards that you can get right out the gate that there's no real value in building her anymore, because the only value that she now has, aside from the leadership is the 4 skill right here. The 4 skill, as you guys can see, she does have damage immunity. However, the damage immunity is short, only 2 seconds. However, guys, there is a way to keep this up all the time. I'm not sure if a lot of you guys know this, but all you really have to do when you play Agent 13 is actually hit the 4, then immediately, like literally immediately, hit the 4, hit the 5, or whichever skill you want to use, but do not ever let this skill go on cooldown. So you go 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 2, 4, 1, 4, 5, just like that. Never let this skill play out, and what you will effectively do is make it so that you get the damage immunity, but it's because the skill is not being played out to its entirety, this skill is not going on cooldown. And this has been the case for a very long time now, so I don't think that Marvel's ever going to address it. There are a few other characters in the game that has this cheeky mechanic right here, but that is the only real value in the character's kit. With this uniform that I have equipped for her, you actually get an iframe on the 2 skill, but if you're not abusing the 4 like crazy, you're gonna struggle with her and die very, very quickly, because that is all she really brings to the table. And that's it for the top 10, guys. I'm gonna throw 2 characters in here that you should also not be in a rush to build, and that is actually going to be Wong, guys. Where is this guy? Where's this guy? Wong, guys. And yeah, Wong, as much as I have you built up, brother, you got to be on this list, simply because although you have damage immunity, your damage is very low, and on top of that, guys, this is a good tier 2 passive. I can't lie, this is a very, very good tier 2 passive. But the reason why I'm throwing him on here is because of how long his freaking animations are for his skills, that it wastes this entire damage immunity. And outside of Shadowland, this stun is not enough to keep the world boss at bay. So I gotta throw Wong on this list. This right here is a decent leadership coupled with his 3-star skill, but that is definitely not enough for the character. Do not buy his uniform either. There is not a noticeable change by getting the uniform for Wong. Last one I gotta put on here is Karnak. Karnak can hold his own. If you give him this uniform, Karnak can hold his own in PvP with a very, very, very good build. Even so, he's still not a character that you should be in a rush to build, because he's a very niche character. Okay, he has a couple stuns in his kit, but even so, he's not very good. He's a single target suppression type character, and in most cases, Shadowland floors, you're up against multiple enemies. So having a character like Karnak that solely focuses all of his attention on one character, you're gonna get hit from the back or the sides or wherever, and you're just gonna slowly die. The uniform doesn't change that fact. So yeah, guys, Karnak for me is one you should also not be prioritizing. A little bit more than the top 10, but let me know what you guys think, man. That's it for this one. Like always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next